y que con esta visión nueva, futurista, estamos arrancando la Cumbre Mundial de Dubái. Le damos la bienvenida a la estrella de la cumbre, todos son estrellas, pero este particularmente se acerca más porque puede tener acceso al espacio. Entonces, le damos la bienvenida a Malkawi. Adelante, Mac. Go ahead.
You're going to have to mute your mic.
Yes.
Thank you, Omar, and thank you, everybody, for allowing me to be a part of this conversation. You might have to mute. Thanks. Really looking forward to being a part of the World Knowledge Summit and all your future events, and excited to be a part of this family of knowledge and sharing of knowledge. And I figured the best way to do that is really sharing how I can contribute. Let me share my screen. There we go. I appreciate it. Sorry about that little technical difficulty. But yes, I'm the founder and president of a company called Blink, which stands for Borderless Labs, Inc. And I've kind of recently been branded as the premier tech ed brand leading the MENA region to the final frontier. And the MENA stands for Middle East and North Africa. This is a picture out of a hot air balloon in our space camp. So what I've been doing a lot is doing like you do with the World Knowledge Summit, of transferring knowledge of space and science to a lot of communities that have not had access to that, underserved, underrepresented communities and untapped languages. So I'm really excited to have you as part of that as well. So NASA on the right here made posters saying they want to inspire people to go to Mars and saying Mars explorers wanted. And here I am wearing a SpaceX astronaut suit, replicating that exact same poster saying we here in the MENA region, in the Arabic community, non-American and Russian worlds, saying, yes, we are answering the call. So the rest of the world now can have access to space, not just the space agencies of the world. Speaking of space agencies, the Saudi Space Agency and their Space Technology Commission, we got the contract to be able to host a lot of their events. So I brought some citizen scientist astronauts, the four of us in the middle. We are citizen scientist astronauts in training, and the young men and women here are from Jordan and made some amazing robotics that only typically you see on the level of space agencies of the world. So these young women over here, you would never think they are the ones who are actually the future of spaceflight, but they're the ones who made this actual astronaut human life support system here in the middle. And these young men are part of a team that made this massive Mars rover behind us. And we managed to display it here at the Saudi Space Agency and also agencies of the world. So we met with actually the head of agency, Frank, over here, and are really excited to share these contacts with you and with the World Knowledge Summit. And that's the networking that we really like to do, is make sure that we connect each other. Now back in the US, this is the mock of the Orion capsule that is going to the moon in September of 25 and 26. I'm one of the few people who actually does human life support systems training on it. And this from Mexico, David Guajardo is our COO and Adara is our CTO. She actually designed the first 3D printer that went to the International Space Station. So we're excited that we're not only doing education and outreach, but we're also doing some hardware and science and contributing to that as well. This is actually me. So I'm originally Jordanian American. So when I actually do my astronautics training, I really like to put the flag of Jordan on my shoulder so I can inspire all of these young kids in Jordan that they someday can be an astronaut as well. And David does that as well. So this is actually me doing the safety and egress training, life support systems training on that moon capsule. And part of my team here, Amanda on Win, she's actually going to space next month with Blue Origin. So we're really excited. I have not gone to space yet, and neither has David. He was a runner-up for one of the missions. So I'm really looking forward to not only going to space, but taking you and our communities, on that mission with us as well. So this is me doing EVA training when we exit the vehicle, assembling a space station, and David Guajardo with his Mexican flag on his shoulder also doing lunar training in an EVA suit. So it's a huge honor to be a part of the community that contributes towards space education, space travel, and space medicine and so forth. But yeah, I mean, this is my team, of Blink, that actually did the astronautics training, and I really want to see that and bring that to the world of the Middle East and Latin America and places that you don't see it on a regular basis. So there's a huge market for it. We do fighter jet training with the Polaris mission. So Polaris is a private mission by billionaire Jared Isaacman, where he's going to be the first civilian who does a spacewalk. But he owns a fleet of fighter jets, and we do G-force training with them. So when you guys fly your fighter jets, you fly with regular pilots. I'm lucky enough, when I fly fighter jets, I fly with astronauts. So it's a huge, huge, amazing life that we live, and fantastic training. And David Wajardo wearing a SpaceX suit next to Jared Isaacman's MiG-29 is just like a fantastic opportunity to inspire so many people, even in Spanish and Arabic and English and Hindi and Urdu and all these languages, that they can be astronauts someday. And this is the one that I was flying in that picture. And this is the actual crew of the Polaris mission. They are going to space this September. And it's such an honor for us to be part of that space family as well. And that's David and the Mexican flag there with him. So it's the inclusion and the outreach is what we want to highlight as part of all of this. If you guys remember last year, we took this plane on a mission down to Latin America from Florida all the way down to, oh my God, Colombia and El Salvador and Peru and Argentina and Chile. Went all the way down from Florida to Chile, 12 countries and back, stopping at each country and doing science fairs and donating books and telescopes, and a project called Passage, which is providing aid and general assistance for South America's general education. And if you haven't seen it, hopefully you will see the documentary that we're making about it. So we're really excited to share aviation and space in Latin America as well. So it's a huge honor for us to be a part of that. But our class of astronautics, look at these flags from South Africa to Mexico to Jordan to India. It shows you that Colombia, it shows you that the world of space is no longer just America and Russia. So in World Knowledge Summits showing the actual world as being a part of it. There's an absence of representation in the MENA region. And I want to make sure it's my mission to bring space here to the Middle East and North Africa, MENA. So one of the director of the program is a former NASA astronaut, Winston Scott, and he allowed me to start bringing all these scholarships. So now you see young women who look like this, who will hopefully inspire millions of women who look like this, that they can be astronauts one day, and very, very proud of that. But yeah, our network, and just like Omar said, we are, the people we surround ourselves with. So I'm very honored and proud to surround myself with astronauts and CEOs and heads of agencies and Bill Nye the Science Guy and all these astronauts and business people from the space industry. And hopefully my network is your network as well. So the biosphere in Arizona, we do actual research, and we're hopefully going to be positioned to even help the UAE build their own biospheres. Zero gravity training, if you've never done it, is one of the most fantastic experiences of your life, of being able to be completely weightless without being in space is such a huge honor. And I'm one of the few people that's lucky enough to be able to have that experience, but hopefully inspire a lot of people that they can be an astronaut one day. But yes, from future astronauts, Jessica Watkins, one of the Artemis astronauts that's expected to walk on the moon, to the SpaceX rocket behind us. And here's David and myself and one of our scholarships from the last year, Salam. And this is on the Mexican-American border in Boca Chica, Texas. So if you haven't seen this rocket launch, you're going to hear a lot of news about this rocket. It's called the SpaceX Starship. And we're fortunate enough to be very close to the space industry and family, that they allow us to be part of these launches and part of this development. So it's a huge honor, but it all started when I started doing space camps and analog astronaut missions. David wants to do a lot of these in Mexico and in Latin America, and I want to do them here in the MENA region. So this is in Jordan. Yeah, look at these rovers, look at these space suits, and look at all the space medicine, space nutrition. This is stuff that typically you don't see outside of the United States, but now 6 years later, look at this young Syrian refugee, a woman wearing a hijab who's now an engineer. She's not on Mars. She's actually in Wadi Rum, Jordan, that looks like Mars. But if she were on Mars, she'd be alive because this spacesuit her and her team designed is an engineering miracle that, we're proud enough to have built it in Jordan, but all I gave them is the knowledge and money to be able to build it themselves. And they worked really hard to be able to do it. This is me wearing a SpaceX suit with a Mars habitat behind me. So it's a huge space camp that we were doing that we really would like to replicate in other places around the world. And from people from the head of medical at NASA to people from Blue Origin who build rockets for Jeff Bezos to Vice President of Space Camp USA to Director of the Analog Astronaut Conference. We're really, really proud of the traction and the support we're getting from around the world of giving a face and a name to all of these amazing talent that now can have a voice. So a young team of engineers like this built this Mars Perseverance Curiosity size rover. And no one would know about it if we didn't fund it and didn't recruit them. And this is not something you usually see in this side of the world. So it's a huge honor to be able to support them. And we managed to take this rover over to the world's largest space conference, which is called the IAC, or International Astronautical Congress. So here it is. And here's that spacesuit that the young team of women built. And here's the actual UAE Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center and their leadership that came and congratulated all of them on the amazing work. And hopefully this will give them internships and jobs and careers in the future in space. They even invited us to meet their astronauts, and they even invited us to the UAE. So a few months later, here we are with the chief scientist at NASA and the top people in the space agencies in the UAE. And hopefully we'll be able to have strategic partnerships with them, and you guys can be a part of that as well. But we also like to have fun and throw parties. So if you've never heard of Yuri's Night, I host Yuri's Night at the IAC. Axiom Space is our sponsor. From Apollo astronauts with us, that, it's a huge honor not only to be a part of the science of space, but also be a part of the culture and celebration of space as well, because that's how we can really recruit a lot of talent with getting them excited about how fun it can be. But yeah, it's if you can't do the experience yourself, then you can still be inspired by watching programming and television and YouTube videos and not just talks. Like Emily just said, it's not just about the talks that happen, it's about the actions that happen after these conferences. So we film everything we do, and then we produce it in a language that have never seen this kind of content before. I don't see a lot of content like this in Spanish, so now we're doing original content in Spanish. We're doing it also in Arabic and Hindi and Urdu and Bengali, and languages you usually don't see this kind of scientific inspiration. So we're very proud of that. And we won the Startup of the Year at the Jordan Startup Expo, and really excited that this whole team has put together an incredible, insane amount of traction in such a short period of time that even agencies of the region can't do. But how do we do that? We do that through hosting these challenges. This challenge is called the MENA $10 million Deep Tech Space Challenge. Hopefully this year it's going to be hosted by the Al Maktoum Investment Group that Emily was just talking about. We can host it this year in October, and I plan on recruiting thousands of people and hundreds of teams for 6 different challenges, and recruiting investors from all over the world for them to be able to really invest and discover these talents. So I really want a lot of Latin American participation in there as well. If if your universities have those, those nerds who know how to build all of this stuff. So we're going to provide millions of dollars worth of funding. We're going to provide millions of dollars worth of awards from all the space agencies around the world. So the top 100 teams are going to get up to $20,000 each to prototype and build in these 6 challenges. And why the UAE? The UAE is really putting a lot of investment into space, and they're really creating a culture of space is the future, and it is the city of the future. So it only makes sense that the future is space as well. But the MENA region's been absent, and a lot of other non-American, European, and Russian communities have been absent from the space world. And our job is to get not only caught up, but become leaders in the space industry as well, create a private space culture, an ecosystem of even startups by recruiting all of this talent. So let's recruit this talent by creating these challenges. You've seen me do it before and look at the results before. My startup had more traction than agencies of the region. So imagine what we can do with funding. So here are the 6 challenges. The first one is a Moon and Mars rover build and design challenge. You've seen what we've done in the past, and you've seen the amazing traction that we've had with the results of all that. The second one is a deep space, deep tech health and human performance challenge, which is human space flight, space medicine, space nutrition, biotech, space physiology, sports and exercise, anything that has to do with the technology of keeping humans alive is something I'd love to have a lot of medical students or a lot of the nutrition students or companies participate in this challenge. Small sat design. Satellites now are smaller than cell phones. They used to be the size of a bus or the size of a car, and now the size of a phone satellite can accomplish way more than that because technology is improving. And now students have the ability to design and build their own satellites, and they do it all the time in the US. We just need to see our communities do it. And now by empowering our own students, our own universities, and having them sign up for this challenge, that means your university can say, hey, we have a satellite in space right now that we built that was funded by Blink and the Al Maktoum Investment Group and through the UAE or MENA region's $10 million challenge. You've seen our students before build spacesuits, so I want a spacesuit build and design challenge. If you have students who think they can make something so incredible from an idea to a spacesuit, we will help and support and fund and guide through all of the things from science to the ordering to the engineering. And you've seen drones over the last couple of years go from nothing but a flying quad camera to swarms of light shows. So imagine what you can do with a lot of ideas in people's minds that they can take it to the next level. I haven't seen underwater swarms of drones, and I'd like to see that. I haven't seen floating drones in zero gravity. I'd like to see that. So this is going to be a really fun challenge of a lot of people getting involved with the technology of how we can take drones to the next level. Some people are already using transportation, air taxis, drones, and it's already becoming a thing in the UAE, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and China. And the last one is the Deep Space, Deep Tech Entrepreneurship Challenge. This is for any startup who wants to be a space company. You just pitch, I will put you in front of hundreds of investors that control hundreds of billions of dollars worth of assets from around the world, not just from the MENA region. And we would like the opportunity for them to be able to get funded. And this is something that you don't really see in the space industry, which is founders and startups being able to pitch in front of investors is something that in any industry is a dream come true. So anyone who signs up for the challenge, we will put them in front of investors, period. But of course, they have to have a fundable company in order for that company to be funded. Our job is to just open that opportunity. Currently, the opportunity doesn't exist, but through this challenge, we will make that opportunity happen. So tomorrow, April 30th, we plan on announcing it, and hopefully in October 29th, 30th, and 31st, we will have the finals right here in Dubai at the Expo City. And we're really looking forward to you and your teams being a part of it, and looking forward to this transfer of knowledge through the Knowledge Summit being a part of these challenges as well, and being a part of the new space industry that's not just NASA and public as well. But thank you for having me here.
Muy bien. Bueno, y Omar
Muy bien.
seguramente va a tener algo para él. Va a tener algo para él. Omar.
Por supuesto, sí. Realmente quiero, ahorita que está poniendo esto, pues le voy a dar lectura. Legally constituted in accordance with the corresponding powers before the witness of honors, representative of the powers of union, university records, civil association, and entrepreneurs in the World Knowledge Summit 2024, the Executive Committee of the International College of Professional CNC and the various educational institutions agreed to grant the highest international distinction, recognize a global leader in astronaut training, to Dr. Malkawi for his extraordinary participation as an international speaker, his extraordinary professional career in the area of the aerospace training, his experience and educational leadership on an international level, as an entrepreneur and great visionary as director of Blink Inc., a unique developer of aerospace challenge, recognizing his extraordinary performance, his tenacity, discipline, and professional ethics, his love of the country, and raising the name of the United States and Jordan in the international context. Congratulations, Mac. Is for us an honor with this the presence of the most brilliant minds around the world.
Yeah, thank you, Omar. Thank you, Jorge. Thank you, everyone. It's an honor to be a part of your community, and this is only the beginning. And hopefully, you're going to see a lot of participation, not only in space and entrepreneurship and science. This is going to be huge, but it's also just the beginning.
Muy bien. Mencionar también dos cosas fundamentales en esta presentación de nuestro amigo, el astronauta Malkawi. Primero, nosotros tenemos una participación directa en el Plan Ares, que es la primera propuesta latinoamericana para la conquista de Marte, con el doctor Omar Pensado Díaz, que está y se encuentra en Jalapa, Veracruz, México. Con él hemos estado encabezando la FAMEX en el aeropuerto de Santa Lucía y en la base militar en México, en el aeropuerto, la feria aeronáutica más grande del mundo en abril del año pasado. Hemos presentado los prototipos de las naves espaciales que tiene el doctor Omar Pensado, y también hemos interactuado con el embajador de la Agencia Latinoamericana y Caribeña del Espacio, la ALCE. En días recientes tuve una charla con él. Yo soy director comercial del Plan Ares y hemos tenido un acercamiento en la Secretaría de Relaciones Exteriores en México para precisamente hacer este tipo de alianzas, hacer este tipo de impulsos. El lugar de cofre de perote es muy similar a las condiciones de Marte, y el doctor Omar Pensado lleva muchos años, 10 años aproximadamente, dedicándose de lleno a este proyecto, por lo cual tiene el respaldo de la Agencia Latinoamericana y Caribeña del Espacio, encabezada por el embajador Cabrera, de tal Gustavo Alonso Cabrera, de tal manera que él nos extendió una carta de respaldo a la alianza que celebraremos con Malik Malkawi, con la empresa Blink, y todo esto que se viene. La idea fundamental cuando conocí yo el proyecto de Malik es principalmente ver esta oportunidad en una de las ciudades más desarrolladas del mundo para que también sea un atractivo turístico. atractivo turístico, atractivo de conocimiento, atractivo de cambiar la mentalidad y buscar el beneficio del ser humano. Pues yo, si les hago una pregunta de quién se acuerda del primer hombre que pisó la luna, pues todos posiblemente me darán la respuesta. Está pronosticado y programado para el 2026 aterrice la primera mujer. La primera mujer va a alunizar, va a tocar la superficie de la luna y pues bueno, es también parte o forma parte del equipo de Malkawi. Por lo tanto, esta cumbre mundial del conocimiento se vuelve especial, se vuelve una herramienta poderosa para todos los países, para generar diplomacia, para generar consenso y sobre todo para establecer un orden para la mejora del medio ambiente y sobre todo una cultura de paz. Agradezco muchísimo esta oportunidad de Malkawi y vamos a continuar.